Yes, people, this is Carl and Liam, Breaking Bread Podcast.
Yeah, very warm welcome. Second episode of our second season.
This was a good one.
This was absolutely incredible. A little bit strange now. We're recording this, obviously,
This intro, yeah.
post Armageddon.
Armageddon's, we still got it, mate.
I don't
Still
know
happening.
I can't remember when we recorded this, the start of March or early Feb.
This was before COVID proper took over and everywhere was still open. And
Yeah, we didn't really know what was about to come, really. We actually stayed for lunch at Simpsons after we recorded this episode, and it was just like a normal, brilliant Saturday, wasn't it? You know, everyone was in there, the restaurant was packed, and everyone was having a great time.
it was one of the best Saturdays I've ever had.
Oh, it was incredible. How good was the food?
The food, yeah, we were lucky enough to eat there and it was unbelievable.
For anyone who doesn't know, Simpsons is like, I don't know if it's a Birmingham Institute or the Birmingham Institute of
I'd say
Food, isn't it?
Birmingham, yeah.
We get into it a little bit in the podcast with Luke, where we talk about like the names that have kind of come through the whole Andreas team and the setup back from like the plough and stuff, and obviously when it was in Kenilworth and how it's moved on. It's been Michelin Star for 20 years. You don't get Michelin Star for 20 years if you aren't like one of the best. The best. And it showed. The food, sometimes you sleep on it, and we talk about this as well in the episode. Sometimes you sleep on how good a restaurant is just because it's been there forever, and we were a little bit guilty of that, I think. And
Yeah, I'd gone to a lot of other places that were a lot newer and had the star longer, and I'd sort of not ignored it, but sort of went out other places first, and then having eaten at Simpsons, I just want to go back in time and say, what are you doing? You need to go back to Simpsons, you nutter, because it's pretty much like one of the benchmarks for it, I think.
Rightly
Michelin
so.
Star in Birmingham anyway.
Yeah, as you hear Luke says on a few times, he feels like the team they've got in there now is the best team they've ever had, and the food is of a different level. They've gone up a gear. So
Yeah.
for somewhere like that to say they've gone up a gear when it was already, as far as I was concerned, incredible. It shone straight through in every dish. Like every dish was incredible.
Yeah, we were really lucky. Like the food was phenomenal, the service was phenomenal. He was really nice. Got to have a look around the kitchen,
Yeah.
see the place. Oh,
I think
so
there's a
happy.
theme in a lot of our episodes where we say it feels like we've won some kind of competition.
I know, yeah.
And that's what that day felt. So yeah, this might be a bit of a relief for anyone listening, but as far as I can remember, there's no talk of COVID,
No.
which could be a good relief for a lot
Yeah,
of
you
us.
don't want to. There's enough around it now. We've got
Yeah.
other episodes where we talk about it. Plus, we didn't know at the time.
We did not know. We were very kindly asked to do this interview by Nicole at WPR Agency, another really awesome agency that we've been doing a few little podcasts with before. Obviously, Simpsons is part of the Edgbaston village. A whole little group of like really awesome up and coming shops and restaurants. There's Laggy's, obviously. You know Laggy's Deli.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet, but
It's, for me, the best Italian I've ever been to anyway. There's LA Pop. You been to LA Pop?
no.
That's a whole lot of fun. We took my daughter and my nephew there, and obviously the kids loved it, but I think I loved it more than the kids. It's just an ice cream place, but it's brilliant. Blue Piano, I think you've been there. I haven't.
Been there for
but
drinks.
yeah, that's part of the same group. Obviously, it's very easily accessible. There's lots of car parking around there. There's the train. There's the new tram link that's about to stop there. But yeah, so it's often a forgotten part of town, but it's a really good part of town with lots of brilliant things going on.
There's
So
loads going on in there.
it's worth the kind of effort to get out that way.
Definitely.
can. Yeah, so that's Simpsons, and I'm sure you'll agree. It's rare to get sitting down with such. Well, he
High
doesn't
quality
do.
chef.
Yeah,
Like,
he-
really like top. One of the easily top in the country.
Easily. Luke is like held in such high regard. You speak to Stu Dealey, MasterChef champion, obviously Leo. There's just a train of people who tell you how. I mean, even when we put an Insta story up to say that we'd done the interview with Luke, the amount of interest we got was just unbelievable.
There's not many interviews we've done where his name hasn't come up by the chefs, is there?
No.
Literally everything we talk about to a chef in Birmingham, Simpsons and Luke's name always come up. Even if it's not been recorded, when we're just sitting there like chirping before we start, his name always crops up.
It's not hard to see why when you look at the training, like when he spoke about training young chefs and bringing them along and giving them a career, he's just next level. So I was really, really excited to bring this one to you, and I really hope you enjoy it.
Enjoy, people.
So today we are here with, I want to get this right because this is quite important. We're here with chef director now, yeah?
Oh, I've been called many things, but yeah.
Executive chef director and professor of culinary arts, Luke Tipping.
We've dug that one out.
How are you?
It's certainly not in my humble background to go around calling myself a professor, but that is the case. Yeah.
I was surprised when you didn't introduce yourself as professor.
Yeah, I haven't got it on my business card either. So no, definitely not on that.
How did that come about? Actually, the professor.
It was just something bestowed on me from UCB. We work very closely with UCB with lots of students. Have done for a long time, and certainly really came out of the blue. Really, I suppose. I don't know. It's a great thing to sort of be honoured with. But I think it was just sort of my sort of contributions to helping UCB, doing a few demonstrations, that kind of stuff. Just, I don't know, it's just doing, it's like anything I do, it's what I do. You know what I mean? I don't go out of my way to do it, but it's, if it comes, it comes. If it,
Did you do training or anything there? Like, did
Not
you train?
at UCB, no.
Did you train any chefs? What do you do, courses or anything?
No, not really. No, as I say, we just do a lot of placements at the restaurant. We're as you've seen the kitchen, it's very led. It's a great open space, and we're sort of very into training the youth, I suppose. That's a bit of a thing for me, It's sort of, I think it was just a bit of a thank you from them to say, well done for looking after students then and still going forward, really, I suppose. Yeah.
Would you say it's a big passion of yours and training young chefs? And
yeah, I guess so. I suppose the story is well documented from mine that, I was late getting into the trade. It wasn't until I was 21, for reasons we might go into later on. But so I think, if I can help kids younger than that, go forward in the career where I didn't, then I think, it's important for me, definitely.
What's the current kind of crop of chefs coming through like? Is there some coming through? I mean, we've had a lot of chefs on the podcast and owners of restaurants who talk about the kind of struggles that the industry is having in 2020.
I guess the struggles come because there's so many restaurants open now. You know what I mean? When I was first training in 80, reeling back now, 84, 85, there was pockets of restaurants. You know what I mean? And you only picked a couple that you would even want to go and work in. It was either London or some country house hotels in the slaughters or something like that. But now it's, you can move from restaurant to restaurant. So there is a shortage for sure, but you have to sort of keep hold of the ones, hopefully, that are good for you anyway. And in training, young chefs, we can sort of help out in that department. Yeah.
Does Simpsons have a big draw with young chefs? Do you think still, or?
I think so. We as I say, we work closely with colleges. UCB is obviously on our doorstep, and we've got a great track record with colleges. We're working with the Royal Academy of Culinary Arts on their chef apprenticeship scheme. We've just released Adam Beaumont, who you might have heard has gone. He was with us for 3 years. He's just finished his apprenticeship. Got the Egon Rone Apprentice of the Year through that, so he was the top. It's like the top gun in his class. He won the whole thing. He got the award for that, and now he's sort of off the back of that. He's commie for the for the Bocuse d'Or competition in Lyon this year. So, and he's just a young guy that came to us. We took him under his wing, and the rest is history, really. He's going to have a really great future.
That's amazing. That must make you quite proud when that happens.
Yeah, definitely. And you feel like you've done your job right then. You know what I mean? It's obviously, it's down to him as well, of course, but, it works both ways. But if we can create a platform and an area for these guys to flourish, then, what I try and do is just give these guys get a confidence in themselves. When they come, people come to a Michelin Star restaurant with, fear or whatever, you know what I mean? It's a big task cooking in a restaurant like this. And we try and, I guess we've got a formula, it's very relaxed in the kitchen. We've got the radio on, you've just been in there.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time together. And we don't run it with a rod of iron. It's relaxed. I think we get the best out of people if they're smiling and happy. I never say to them, you've got to be here at 8 o'clock. You know what you've got to do. Get on with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it can go wrong, but the sort of philosophy is lead it by not relaxation, but we're an arm around the shoulder, not an aggressive kitchen.
And it gives the young chefs a bit of skin in the game, if you know what that phrase means. It's like it's their responsibility then.
Exactly.
So
we're trying to we're trying to give them their own responsibility and see if they can see if they can absorb it and push it forward, really. Yeah. So it's trying to because if you've got some confidence in the kitchen, you need a swagger, but you've also got to have some respect for the level you're at, really. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think it is about this restaurant that's consistently churned out such kind of talent? Like, obviously Glenn was obviously at the original Simpsons and Adam and obviously recently Stu Dealey and one of the big chefs.
We could go on and on.
Yeah, it's
I don't know. I just think it's a bit of an institution. Simpsons has been going over 25 years now. So, that in itself is incredible. At a Michelin Star for over 20 of those. I don't know. Maybe it's the formula I've just talked about. We sort of so Glyn was very at the start in the old restaurant. He worked with us for 7 years, I think. We've had James Cross, who's got his own restaurant in Cumbria. Matt Cheel, Nathan Eads over at the Wild Rabbit. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of chefs, but I guess it's just a great place to work. I suppose I can't. I don't know. I'm still here, so it's sort of it's looked after me. But, yeah.
What's sort of the desire behind wanting to train so many young chefs?
As I say, I think I've got a young family. My son's sort of 21 this year, and my daughter's 18. But and I'm a family man, and Simpsons has always been run as a family business. Andreas, who owns it, 4 kids himself, well, not grown up now, but so it's a family-run business, and the family ethos has always been strong at Simpsons. I guess the desire is just to sort of get people on a track where they can, flourish and go on. Like Adam's a great example. You know what I mean? He's been with us 3 years, and he's going to be on a world stage of the biggest cookery competition in the world. You know what I mean? So that in itself is, it's a great achievement for him, and it's also, a great achievement for us that we've helped him along the way, really.
Do you find that these new chefs, when they come to you to get a job here, is the interview process quite grueling? Do they have to cook for you, or what do you have to do to actually get the job here? Yeah,
I've been cooking for sort of over 30 years now. You can sort of see when they're, you can almost see straight away if they're ready for it, or could be not worthy of Simpsons, but if if it's right for them, because it's a two-way street. You know, they've got to enjoy it, and we've got to know that they're right. But there's no massive it's not a big interrogation process. It depends on age and ability, really. If we're looking for someone senior, you know, we might get them to do something. I don't know. You know, I've got people to make a biscuit and a cup of tea. You know what I mean? As simple as that. Because you know, you can just see the last young lady we employed on the pastry. She impressed me, and I'd go on to the whole restaurant team that, you know, I treat this as my own. It is partly mine, but not solely. But I've always treated this as my own. So if I step out my car, as soon as I go through the car park, you know, gates, this is where it starts. So if I see some rubbish on the floor, or, you know, the bin's lid, and, you know, it's the bin lid open, I'll shut it, and it's installing that vision into everyone that this isn't their own, but one day they will have their own restaurant, hopefully. And Nora, she was here, and she walked across the kitchen, saw a bit of paper on the floor and picked it up. I said to Leo straight away, you know, that says a lot for me. Simple things that mean, you know, they're focused, they've got their eyes sort of open, and so it was as simple as that. I said, you know, get her in, that was it. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah. So.
How do you attribute people staying here so long as well? Because most of the chefs we speak to, they go somewhere, they're there 6 months or a year, and then they move on, and they just keep moving and moving.
I guess
you
it's
seem to be able to hold the staff.
I guess it's our sort of way of motivation, the friendliness behind it, really. I suppose the sort of openness to, you know, stand or fail as in their own way, really. But I think we're. You'd have to ask them, I suppose. But I guess it's a nice place to work. You know, I mean, it's hard. You know, what I mean, it's a big restaurant. There's a lot going on. It's intense, but at the same time, it's enjoyable. We have fun, and you know, I guess it's that balance of, you know, hard and openness. Just getting on with it and just enjoying it as well, I think.
Is there much of a work-life balance sort of ethos here?
Yeah, massively, yeah. You know, for me, there's always been a work-life balance. You know, my family are everything to me. So, and I install that in, you know, the last thing I want chefs to do is come in at 8 o'clock and leave at 12 o'clock and not see any daylight. I encourage, you know, breaks in the afternoon. The work-life balance is massive. We do now. We used to be open 7 days a week. We were closed Sunday night, but we introduced Mondays off, Sunday nights closed, and everyone else gets another day, a day and a half off a week. So it's 3 days off, 4 on, really. So just to help in that work-life balance. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, when I first started, you know, if you didn't do 70, 80 hours, you're a wuss, you know what I mean? So it's a different world now. You can't do that anymore, because you will not keep staff, you know. So, you know, maybe that's another reason why, you know, it's there's probably many reasons why that, you know, if I had a list in front of me, I could probably reel them off. But, you know, there's no there's no right or wrong answer. I just think for me, I think it's a great place to work.
You say how much it's changed since you started training here, and I'm sure it's changed quite a lot since you were like management here. How has your management style had to adapt over the last kind of 10, 15 years? Well, probably 10 years has seen the most change.
Well, I've always been the boss here, so it's always been the same, I suppose. But I think I guess I've mellowed, I suppose, if I look back. Certainly when we moved over from Kenilworth, it was a whole new team. For the first year, 2 years, you know, we came to Birmingham, it was this Michelin Star, this, that and the other. people, you know, we had job applicants, I want to work in a Star, and they just couldn't cut it, you know what I mean? So it was brutal, really, you know, really. I was the first, as I say, first few years until we sort of found our feet, I suppose. I guess, probably looking back, I wasn't as mellow and as calm as I am now, but then that's, you know, it's a long time ago. There's a lot of food.
I think that's life, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm far mellower than I was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so is Carl. Like, I think that's, I mean, once you get to kind of 25, I think your brain develops different.
Yeah.
And
Well, exactly. You know, in all that, when we got the Star in 99, 2000 guide. I just lost my father in 99, and my son was born the same year, and we got a Star the same year. So three quite big things, and I guess there was a lot going on then, and we moved, you know, over here a few years later, and I guess all them kind of things mellow you out, really. You know, I mean, your kids mellow you. You sort of not that I've never been an aggressive chef or anything like that, don't get me wrong, but, you know, people, you know, you saw a plate smash or something, you go mental at it, but, you know, it's a plate at the end of the day. No one, you know what I mean? No one's dying from it. You know what I mean? It's a plate, you know what I mean? It's just move on. So, yeah, but I guess back then there was a lot more testosterone flying around, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So Simpsons, what year did Simpsons open in Kenilworth?
93, I think it was. Yeah.
And then won the Star in 99.
99, yeah.
What was was the intention as soon as you opened in?
No, not
to
at
win
all.
a Michelin?
No. I worked with Andreas at the Plan Harrow across the road there originally. That was my first job, and then we sort of went our separate ways due to the hotel changing hands and stuff. And Andreas was doing consultancy work, but he always had the intention to open his own restaurant somewhere. And we didn't even keep in touch so much, really. But I'd heard he'd opened. I'd gone to work. I was at the Swallow at the time, 5 Ways there.
Yeah.
And I was the sous chef there. And it was quite strange because I went for dinner a couple of weeks into him opening, and it was just like such a breath of fresh air seeing this restaurant. There's all pictures on the walls of chefs, and it was just a chef's restaurant. And I'd come from this, you know, grand 5-star deluxe hotel, you know, at the Swallow, and into this sort of just injection of energy, which was just ridiculous. So we got chatting, and they were busy from day one, as you can imagine. And so went straight back to work, handed my notice in, and then like a month later I was travelling 25 miles down the M42, M40, working in this little restaurant with bolted on fridges, and I'd come from a deluxe hotel kitchen, you know, with like 20 chefs to 3 of us in the kitchen, me, Andreas, and Andy Waters, who was you probably know went to Edmonds, and so there was 3 of us, a few part-timers at the weekends, Andreas' wife at the front, and we were just cooking our hearts out. No intention of, it was just pure energy. We had no direction. We were just doing food that, you know, back catalogue food from not so much the Plough, but just sort of even Greek heritage food from Andreas Cypriot background, and anything sort of went, really. You know, it was just purely about passion, not about profit, not about anything, just about food, and, you know, it was amazing. It was intense, yeah.
So how did it feel when you did get the Michelin? Because you got Bib Gourmand first, and then Michelin.
Yeah, we got Bib Gourmand. I guess obviously that's on price structure. So we got the Bib Gourmand. But what we did when we started to grow, and the business got busier and busier midweek and stuff like that, obviously we employed more chefs. Even back then we were employing, you know, young talented chefs. 2 of those were Marcus and Jason Eves, who went on, you know, they've worked in all kinds of kitchens around the country. They were both with us, and we sort of we decided to set up this club called the Manger Club, and we used to save £5 a week from our tips, and then when we got to about, I don't know, 50, 60 quid, we would depend on how many of us would go. Sometimes a couple of front of house or whatever, and we would pick on a restaurant, not necessarily Michelin Star really. We went to the original Ivy in Soho, different places, and we would we saved this money, and then someone would drive, because we used to close Saturday mornings at Simpsons there, so we used to drive to a restaurant, eat, and drive back for night service.
Yeah.
Just to sort of see what everyone else was doing, because we were sort of working in this restaurant in Kenilworth, sort of blinkered to the world, just like getting on with it. And then we thought, well, we'll go and see what everyone else is doing. As I say, not you know, we all different types of restaurants. I remember we went to Nico's in Manchester, different areas, you know, Cotswolds sometimes. And
what was the best one you went to?
Well, we had some fun at a lot of them, but I can't. Yeah, I was just trying to think. Even if there must have been stars in there, because that's sort of what I'm getting to. That gave us this sort of, you know, we could do something here. You know what I mean? It sort of.
Did you think you weren't a million miles away?
Yeah. It sort of switched the light bulb on, I guess, and we thought, well, you know, we could try and achieve something here rather than just, you know. And we kept doing that, and then I went to then I won the very first BCF Chef of the Year in '99 as well. So that was all going on as well. So yeah, it was a bit of a mad time really. But so I won that, and part of my prize was I went to Lyon on a stage to work at Pierre Horse's, which was 2 stars at the time. And this was sort of totally alien, you know what I mean? Going to France. I remember getting on the plane, I'm thinking, what the fuck what am I doing? You know what I mean? Why do I want to do this? You know what I mean? I've got, you know, the wife's, I'm thinking, you know, because stages weren't like the big thing then, to go off and, you know, work in a foreign country for a month.
Why did you want to do it then?
Well, I don't know. I think Andreas just said you got to go and do it. So, you know, off I went on the plane, and I remember I was there, and I was phoned chef up, Andreas, and I thought, I don't know, they're not doing anything. We're not doing. You know what I mean? In hindsight, they were, but at the time, I thought, I don't like it. I'm not enjoying it. Maybe I guess I was homesick. I don't know, but. But I was there for a month anyway, and I came back, and again that sort of triggered something else. It was about the produce, about the simplicity, about many things, and the culture, you know, because I guess Simpsons has always been driven by French. You know, we're a classical-based restaurant for sure. So something else then clicked on, and then Glyn joined us. Glyn Purnell joined us. He was at the Metropole. He came along. So the team was growing then. The youth was growing, and the fun was growing in the kitchen. And then Glyn, can't remember now. Glyn won. I don't know whether he won something. He went to France as well. He went to Vienne.
Yeah.
Was it Pic? I can't remember where he went. He went over to France for a while, and he was buzzing when he came back. And this again, you know, we're gaining momentum. Then this is the sort of early days of something. You know, we've got a great little restaurant, we've got a great team. You know, let's sort of really see where we can go with it. But we never really. You know, we never went in every morning thinking we're going to get a star. We still kept the same, you know, balance in our heads that, you know, we're just cooking. You know, the customer is what we're cooking for. Yeah. You know, there's no egos here. We're just, you know, all cracking on, enjoying ourselves, cooking. You know, same as we're doing now. And then the day it came, we got a great friend who's passed away now, Richard Binns. He used to be a travel writer for a travel guide over in France. And he came in and told us we'd got a star. And there was no sort of like Twitter releases or, you know what I mean? He just sort of opened the book and away you went, kind of thing. You looked at it and sort of went back in the kitchen. I mean, there was
They didn't give you a call or anything.
There was no unveiling or no. It was very, very simple back then. Now it's just like it's which is great. Don't get me wrong, he came in and told us, and we were like, oh shit, what's that? We were like. We'd heard about it and knew all about it, but what do we do now, kind of thing. So we just carried on, and here we go. 20 odd years later, still got it. So,
any pressure on once you'd won it then to keep it, or?
Well, no, because I don't know. We've never felt the pressure of that, because I think it's just we are what we are and we do what we do. You know what I mean? We're a lot better now than we were then. So I don't know how that sort of the parameters are in Michelin's in way of thinking, but the restaurant, obviously from where we were, it's just moved on tenfold really. So we're joined by my executive head chef, Leo Coutu.
A few people may have heard of him.
Anything to say, Leo? He's come to check up on me.
It's probably a good point to say that Simpsons has continuously held the star for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's some achievement.
Yeah. Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, we've got staff that aren't even 20 years old. That's how massive that is. So, it's great, and it's down to team. As I say, Leo's just walked in, but I'm nothing without these guys. I mean, it's we are a team. It's not my name on the door. We're all passionate. We're all going in the same direction. It's a team, and I couldn't do it without them. Yeah.
And the restaurant itself's been improved over the years.
Yeah, we're forever. Andreas is the owner. He doesn't like standing still. I mean, he's sort of he's got a lot of energy still, and certainly for here. And obviously, you mentioned Stuart earlier. There's plans afoot with Stuart. We've got his pop-up starting upstairs, which is great. Great to have him back. He's there's a Simpsons family, and he's very much involved in it.
That's awesome. And you got the cookery school as well.
Cookery school, it all goes on. Yeah, it's a big ship to sail, Simpsons, and especially on the weekends. But the cookery school looks after itself. Leo's very much involved with that. I think Stuart's going to be doing a couple of pop-up schools up there as well. So there's a lot, there's a lot happening. So
maybe Leo would like to tell us just a little bit about the cookery school.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Come here, Leo.
Go on, Leo. You gotta go. It's all right. I said we'll do one with Leo anyway. Leo's got a big story.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What was the drive behind having a cookery school here?
We just had a spare space, I think. When we first came, because we got 3 bedrooms, and the idea of the room was to sort of have a service kind of area where the rooms can go and make themselves a coffee, or have a kind of a bar, like an open bar kind of thing, a hospitality bar, just a sort of a little room away from the rooms, and that didn't really work. So we had this space, and it had cookers in there, coffee machines in there, dishwasher in there. So we thought, well, let's try a cookery class. And virtually from day one, it sort of took off. And every Saturday now since then, that was probably a couple of years into opening here. We didn't do it straight away. Couple of years in, it's every week it's sort of full. So it's
What can people
we only I say full. We do 10, 12, is it? Or the 10 mainly, but so we do corporate schools up there. We do like team building events. We've had hen party. You know what I mean? So it's open to all sorts. Really, it's just a nice way of interaction and getting together. Really.
Yeah. What can people expect if they do come and do it here?
Really, it's just an insight to what we're about, I guess. The produce we use, the simplicity of how we use those ingredients, getting the best out of it, cooking methods, what we use. It's a day in the life of a Michelin Star restaurant, I suppose. That it's not rocket science. You know what I mean? It's about quality at the end of the day, and I think that shows through in what they eat, the plates they eat off to what they're actually, the produce they're cooking with, and it runs through the whole business. Nothing changes.
I've got quite a funny story about Simpsons, because I was just told you when we were walking around.
Was you on the hen night?
I've been here before, and it's actually the first fine dining restaurant I ever kind of went to.
It's funny that, because we get a lot of people say that, and I think what it is, it's a good relaxed entry. I think that's we try and take the formality away from it so people can come in that respect.
I think it's also famous as well. Like when people think of Michelin in Birmingham, it's definitely one of the first.
I hope so. Yeah.
And it was basically, my sister had bought me a gift voucher for my birthday. I can't remember which one. And we got and we were never, like, it lasts a year, doesn't it, the voucher or something? And we hadn't got round to booking it, and we were like, come on, we need to book it. So we booked it like 2 months before it ran out, and this might sound a little bad, but we weren't really very looking forward to it. I'd always been into food, and I was thinking gastropubs, that's where I'm at,
Yeah.
Fine dining, it's too fancy. It's not my thing, And we were quite dreading it, and then the night came, and we were like, "Oh, we'll go. We'll see what it's like," And we were both a bit like, "We're so ungrateful here. Like, this is meant to be one of the best restaurants." So we came, and as soon as we walked through the doors, and you got the entrance there, and it's beautiful, and this was just after it'd been refurbed, I think. And then we walked down where we just walked through, and then we had drinks out in the garden, and the garden is just stunning. But it was relaxed as well, and we just didn't feel out of our depth straight away.
Yeah, that's the whole way we're trying to achieve.
So that was a good start.
Yeah.
And then I think we sat down, and I think it's the breads that come first, and olive tapenade.
Yeah.
That was it then. That was it. My mind was changed. I was like, this is it. This is just next level already. Like, this is just the breads, and it's better than anything I've ever had. And the whole meal was just incredible. But what I kind of wanted to ask you was, there's probably people listening now who's never been to a fine dining restaurant, and they probably think of Simpsons and think, I don't know if that's my thing. What would you say to kind of entice them to come?
I've got family who think that, so you know what I mean, and they know about it. But I guess it's like you say, it's our welcome, I guess, that's important, and trying to make people feel relaxed, because at the end of the day, it's just food. You know what I mean? It's a different food to the gastropub. It's about quality and relaxation at the same time, and that was the whole reason why we changed the restaurant into. We took the tablecloths away. We gave it a more fresher, modern, relaxed feel, that it wasn't intimidating and wasn't starchy and stuffy, and. Well, you've seen it. It's sort of open. You can see the kitchen sitting. It's making it not a temple to gastronomy in any way. It's just a place to come and relax and enjoy some fantastic food, really, in a beautiful space.
Yeah, it's very accessible.
Yeah, and
really accessible.
Also part of the way we do our menus now as well. We've got the a la carte menu, the tasting menu, but we've run every restaurant does a lunch menu, but we include wine in the lunch menu, and I think that's important, because I've been to restaurants. Like I said, I'm not a big wine drinker, but I've been to restaurants. Oh, what wine shall I have? How much am I going to spend? Especially for a young couple, maybe they're on the first date or something like that, and they come. And then if you come for lunch, you know, there's wine included, a glass of wine included in the lunch. So you haven't got to worry about, you know, if you almost know what you're going to spend, you know, almost before you come, because the menu's a price. You get a glass of wine with it, and we've introduced that menu for dinner now as well. So you can come for dinner with a glass of wine. So you know, especially for young, you know, as I say, young couples or whatever, you can come in the reassurance that you're not going to be hassled by the wine waiter saying, you know, you've got to spend £100 on a bottle of wine, or, you know, so it's just making it more accessible, really, you know, because it is the younger people that are coming out eating now.
You've even got a children's menu, haven't you?
Yeah. Why not?
Is there like a separate chef that just solely deals with the children's menu?
No, that's me. That's what I do.
Just the small plates.
Yeah, no. As you know, even the children's menu, there's like chicken on there, but they, you know, we use the chicken that you would, you know, the best chicken. You know, it goes from that age upwards. I mean, so, you know, if there's fish and chips on there, it'll be the best. Same, you mean?
Yeah, so the dad will be sitting there, go on, you eating that?
Yeah.
Leaning over the plate and stealing it.
That is, we've all done that, yeah.
And do they...
Huh? Yeah.
Did
My
they?
kid, yeah.
So there's a lot of pizza on there.
Yeah.
There was?
Yeah. But it's family involvement, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was off microphone, but the pizza used to be on the menu.
Yeah. As I say, my kids used to write it, and they designed you know, the sort of menu layout at one stage, but
and they got kids welcome at all times.
Yeah. We had we have all times. Yeah.
So you've got high chairs.
High chairs, yeah.
That's
Why
amazing.
not? Yeah. Thing is, you know, they're the future of eating. Yeah, we get you know, we have families come in because we encourage like people to come in the kitchen now and sort of say hello, like, you know, we did earlier, and you know, we have families come in with sort of, you know, not teenagers, but, you know, under 10s. I want to go to Simpsons for my birthday. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We do that. We get a lot, don't we? Yeah. So, but yeah, the thing is, you know, they come and they see the restaurant sparkles, and they see that. So it's good. It's good impressions.
And you've also got a vegan menu as well.
Vegan menu, we've been running that for a few years now. Yeah, vegan. Any menu we do, we will replicate it with. It's a plant-based menu. We sort of did a vegan and a vegetarian together, but we've just streamed it into one menu now. So it's the Simpsons plant-based menu. Yeah, so.
And that must bring its own challenges as well with cooking.
It does, but it's certainly still a learning curve, and it's a great addition to the restaurant, because if, let's say, me and you come for dinner, and, you know, if you're a vegan, or even you just fancy eating something different, it will look and taste the best. It will, you know. So it's not just like a chickpea curry with a bit of spinach and some spices thrown in there. You know, it's visually appealing in our style, as well as obviously tasty.
Do you find that menu probably takes more work than the normal menu would do, in the sense that you've got to find alternatives to
it used to, when we were
fats and stuff like that you'd normally use, you know?
Yeah, it used to. It's getting easier now, because obviously there's a lot more things on the market, and we can play about with bits and bobs. You know, it's quite versatile, like vegan mayonnaise, because of the stuff in it. You can work a lot of different things with it, more than just using it as mayonnaise. But in its infancy, when we first started playing about with it, we didn't take it that seriously. So if you don't plan for it, you can get caught out. But now we're certainly very into it, and we do vegan purees. So it was harder then because we wasn't prepared for it, but now, you know, because every day we have team briefings at 11:30 and 6:30, and we go through the requirements of the day. And very, very rarely there won't be an allergy of some sort or a plant-based menu requirement. So, and if you haven't got it, then that's when you're not ready for it. So,
do you tend to find this whole allergy thing's fairly new in the sort of restaurant? I know people have always had like peanut allergies, but now everyone's either gluten intolerant or they can't have this, or lactose intolerant. Or
yeah, there's, as I say, it is growing. Yeah. I recently came back from Italy. I say recently, last year.
I was going to say we're out. See you later.
Yeah, last year. We won't go into that, but yeah, and they've never heard of it out there. You know what I mean? It's like we went into like load of restaurants, and no one had not like
no one's gluten intolerant there. Well, you wouldn't eat if you were gluten intolerant.
No, exactly. Yeah. You'd be in trouble there, but yeah, no, it's growing, but you have to accommodate for it. We get a lot of great feedback that we go out of our way to accommodate allergies. We had a lady the other day. She had the souffle, and she was amazed that we could do her a souffle that's gluten free or what. You know what I mean? So we get a lot of great feedback, and that in itself, hopefully they'll come back because I know that they can rely on us to look after their requirements then, which is, it's all about, future stuff, and I mean, it's pushing forward all the time, really. If we just sit here and say, no, we ain't doing it, they'll go somewhere else, won't they? You know what I mean? That's money we should be having, so.
Do you put much work into who supplies the restaurant, where you source your food from?
Oh, yeah, produce is what Simpsons is all about. Yeah, that is first and foremost. Leo's very into that. You know what I mean, we all are. We've had suppliers since day one, like Aubrey Allen, different people like that. But new suppliers sort of come and go. But produce is, that's first and foremost. Really.
First thing you look at when you're doing anything.
Produce is first, and then I'll say to Leo, we've got to put this on, and he'll say, no, it's too expensive. But we work around that. That's the relationship we've got. But produce is everything. Without that, produce and seasonality. Yeah.
Do you try and keep the produce as local as you can as well?
It's not a massive thing for me.
Right.
What do we call local? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, now everything Scotland's local.
Exactly.
In comparison to South Africa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We wouldn't use like tilapia from Zimbabwe or something like that. Or, you know what I mean? It is, fish is all local, meat is all local, vegetables. Yeah. So, but having said that, we've got banana souffle on, so there ain't no bananas around here.
Yeah, you're gonna struggle.
So, locality is important, but seasonality and produce is the main thing. Yeah.
Wow.
I just want to. You kind of touched on it. You said that you didn't get into chef until you're 21.
Yeah.
What was the reason for that? That's fairly hard for people listening who don't know. A lot of people get into it like 14, 16.
Yeah, well, you hear so many chefs. All I wanted to do was be a chef, and this, that, and the other. And the story. I was brought up in restaurants. My dad was a chef. So yeah.
Was that around Birmingham?
Yeah, he worked at the Plan Arrow where I first started. He met my mum at the Plan Arrow. My mum was housekeeper there. He was a chef there. So they met there. So there was a lot of history there for me. But he only worked in and around Birmingham. Yeah, he finished off his career at the Chateau Impney in Droitwich. Oh yeah, that's where he was a chef. But he had actually where Carter's is along that sort of site there in St Mary's Row. He had a restaurant there. He had a little restaurant there back in the 70s. So I used to live above there, and it was for a kid in the 70s, it was a shit time with her dad being a chef. So, and I sort of left school with no qualifications, and it was a bit of we didn't really see eye to eye, me and my dad in that respect, and I don't know. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea at all what I wanted to do.
Did your dad want you to be a chef? Or?
I don't think he did. No,
Yeah.
I don't
Tend to find a lot of time if the dad does something, he tells his son,
Yeah,
"Don't do this, son."
No, I don't recall him ever saying no. I think he was just despaired that I didn't have a job, because you didn't really, you didn't have to stay on for further education then. So I left school in 82, and I had various. They had YTS training schemes then. I was very into clothes, which I sort of still am now. Very sort of, I do like sort of like fashion and stuff now. But and I worked in Burton's as a YTS training scheme, 25 quid a week, and that didn't end well. And I sort of it was a bit of a torrid time for a few years. I started going down the blues, the football. Used to stop on my mate's couch quite a bit. So there was no there was no trouble involved in this, no drugs or anything. I mean, it wasn't a fact that I was off the scale. It was just sort of, where am I going for a few years? You know what I mean? And I didn't really know.
How did you feel about like the whole chef industry at the time, because of your dad being away so often, like being busy so often? There was nothing there for me. There was no. It's like my son. He's 21 this year, but he's worked here since he was 16. Just not a chef or anything. He works. He's got an apprenticeship now. He still works here one day a week, but he loves the whole restaurant industry. He likes the excitement of it. He's always watching cookery programs. He loves eating food and stuff, but he sort of realises that it's not even the way I've been with the family. It's not a job he would enjoy. I've never said don't do it, but he's just seen it. But the thing is, for me, I've been very family driven. Family is everything to me. Was that because of
exactly that. It frustrates me if I can't get home in the afternoon, because not so much now, because they're sort of doing their own stuff. Like Lois is at college and he's working, but to go home and cook the family tea in the afternoon was very important to me, and it sort of still is, because I'm going through that stage of they're doing their own thing, but I'm still there going home trying to keep the family together. And I think that's sort of I don't really remember many times that we sort of sat down as a family together when I was a kid. So I think all those things subconsciously in my brain have said I will be a better dad than my dad was to me, I suppose. But so it's been a funny old story, really. But so I was out of school 1982. Doing absolutely nothing. Left Burton's, got a job as a swimming pool attendant for the council, and my mate got me that as a lifeguard. So I was just working around some of the swimming baths around Birmingham, which was all right. And then I think my dad got me a job at the Grand Hotel.
It's actually reopening, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So he knew the personnel manager there, and it's all quite vague. I must have quite a bad memory, but I remember spots of it. But I got a job at the Grand Hotel, and they had obviously a massive banqueting section, not a chef or anything, just
KP.
Yeah. Not even the kitchen, in the banqueting, like a banqueting porter.
Oh, right.
Lugging tables and chairs, servicing rooms, and teas and coffees and that kind of stuff. When they broke for a conference, you'd go in, clear it out and relay it, whatever. So I was doing that, and then obviously walking through the kitchen there, seeing what was going on, but didn't have any sort of intention of getting involved in it. And I think they were short one day, so I went in to help and make a few sandwiches, and I remember it was Andy Kamichi was the chef there, and they was having a good old laugh in his kitchen, you know what I mean? And I thought, this is boring what I'm doing. Banqueting porter, where's this going? And I still had no thought of career prospects or what am I going to do when I'm You know what I mean? I just don't think you did back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't anyway. So, but anyway, I got a job in the kitchen there, and my dad. I told my dad, and he was like, "Oh my God, what? You know, we've gone all through this, and now you're actually working in the kitchen." But I still don't remember him giving me any parental advice as to where I should be going with this. But then what he did say is, if you are going to go into a kitchen, you need to go into the best kitchen you can go into. And at the time, it was the Plough and Harrow, which back in the day was, you know, it won Hotel of the Year in '85, and so it was the only place in Birmingham to work in the day. Like I said before about, you know, the shortage in chefs around. You know, there was nowhere else to go but the Plough and Harrow. So I went for an interview, and John Sweeney was the chef there. So I went for an interview. I remember it vividly. 10 o'clock one morning, and he came down, and we sat in the lounge there, and there was no trial or, you know, how to chop an onion or, you know, make a cup of tea and a biscuit. There was none of that. And anyway, I started a week later, and there we go. We're sitting here now still. Yeah, I mean, it was a real shock though, because I was with, well, my girlfriend, but my wife now, and I remember, and it's still there. The phone, well, it's not the same phone box, but I came out of the Plough and Harrow in the afternoon, not knowing anything what to expect, even though I'd been brought up above restaurants and split shifts and how it all worked. You know, back of the Plough there's I think about 20, 25 chefs back in the day there. This was before Andreas had started there, so it was 84, I think I started there, and I went to the phone box and phoned my wife and said, I've got to work tonight. What's that all about? You know what I mean? I'm thinking, anyway, you know, split shifts 30-something years later, we're still here. So.
Still
exactly, here. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's the sort of, I guess it's sort of a story. But I guess what that has installed in me, like you said, it's a willingness to learn quick, because I was late. I was the oldest sort of one, you know, apart from all the senior chefs. You know, at 21, going into a kitchen then, when they're all sort of straight from school.
Yeah.
You
feel like you have something to prove.
Yeah. I was the oldest one. I hadn't worked anywhere before. You know, I was a bit of the, you know, the runt of the litter, I suppose. And but there was no. You could only buy books then. You know, you bought like classic cookbooks. There was no internet, no YouTube, none of this. You know, you can just research. You know, what's a certain dish, and you can see it instantly. Then it was all about absorbing knowledge from books, and I think that's a failure in today's society. You know, certainly chefs today, you know, they don't look at. They think it's going to come easy. They don't look at books and look at much, you know, to absorb that knowledge. I had to get, you know, 4 years of knowledge back quick. And I still now, you know, if I go home now, there'll be a book or something by my bed that I'll read something, or I'll look at something to sort of keep it fresh, I suppose. Yeah.
Do you have any books just off the top of your head you can recommend, or?
Well, you've got the classic books like the Larousse Gastronomique is obviously the Bible. Yeah, the Repertoire de la Cuisine is quite a difficult one to sort of navigate.
That one, yeah,
that's a difficult one to navigate.
It's crazy. It's brilliant though, isn't it?
It's brilliant. Yeah. But I guess the Larousse is the one young chef should be buying and looking through, because that'll give you certainly the basics of what you should be looking at. But it's all about building blocks in that respect.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Any modern ones or?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of I quite like a lot of the Scandi books, you know, the Norwegian sort of style stuff. Yeah. I like that freshness they create whenever I go out there to sort of Copenhagen or something. It's a totally unique style of food. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and that fermentation book is
René.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I think it'd be criminal if I didn't ask. I normally ask chefs for just a piece of advice, what advice would you give to any young chefs just starting out straight out of college?
You got to enjoy it. You got to get the right, find the right place for you. It could be here. It could be, go in at a high level. There's a kitchen for someone somewhere, and it's finding that right balance. Michelin food is it's different.
Yeah,
I can't really explain it, but because that's all I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's all about quality, and if you haven't got quality in your life, you're going to find it hard, you know what I mean, to sort of adapt to the quality of this level of restaurant, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, it's like eating burgers. You know what I mean? You go to Meat Shack or, it's about quality. Even at that level, they're still sourcing the best bread they can get, sourcing the best meat, but it's a burger. You know what I mean? But it's this level, whether it's Michelin or a burger, it's about finding quality, and you need to get quality in your life, I suppose.
Yeah, I understand. I know you said it'd be hard to, but I understand that.
Yeah.
And caring about the ingredients.
Yeah. And the biggest one for me, most chefs, they ain't sort of, I left school with nothing. I had one. I think I got I don't know what a grade 1 O level in art, but I was going
to guess that.
But I'm still very. Yeah, I guess that comes across in the way I plate food, I suppose. That's the art of plating, if you like. But I was crap at school, and a lot of people would get here are crap at school. But if you're crap at school and you got no common sense, then you ain't getting anywhere. You've got to have, you know what I mean? If you've got common sense and you've got that ability to absorb what people are telling you, then you'll be all right.
I couldn't 100% say, but in general I would find that people generally do either have a lot of common sense or they're really good in school.
Yeah.
The ones who come out and who weren't great in school seem to have a lot of common sense.
Yeah. Don't speak to my wife about that. She don't think I'll get any, but but it's like Adam's a great example. We talked about Adam earlier, but he left school with bags of A levels. He was grade A student, but he's also a superb chef. So he's a break to the rule, really. So but he thought he wanted to be a chef. I don't quite know what got him into it, but so he's got the best of both worlds, bless him. So yeah,
it's quite rare.
It is.
Yeah.
I think that's. So I think it's safe to say that you and Andreas and this restaurant have pretty much set up the whole fine dining scene in the whole of Birmingham, because there's not many restaurants that you haven't had a hand in at some level. Is that quite important to you, or does it give you a sense of pride that Birmingham itself, because we love Birmingham, that's why we do the podcast, and you obviously love Birmingham as well, does it give you some sort of pride?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've had a lot to do with the dining scene, I suppose, because we were the sort of first that came here. Obviously Glyn was across the road there, and I don't think there's that many chefs in all these restaurants that, most of the chefs that have left here have left on to, get their own places, like Cheels and, as I say, James up in the north there, and Nathan the Wild Rabbit. So there's not much cross-pollination with younger chefs in the other restaurants, I suppose, which I don't know really why that is. We don't really get chefs from Glyn's or Brad's or Adam. You know what I mean? There's no movement around there. But I think we're very happy in the fact that we were sort of, the forefront of bringing fine dining into this city, certainly this area. So yeah, we're obviously we're very proud, and but we sort of, you know, we get on with what's going on in these four walls. I suppose it's we just strive every day. You know, as soon as the first customer comes to the door, to make it as special as the last one that left yesterday. It's you know, we're very humble in that respect. I guess that's a Brummy thing. You know what I mean? We're just sort of we should sing our praises more, but we're just, you know, at the end of the day, I was brought up to be a chef, to cook, and you know, the sort of the limelight is a, you know, it's a necessity for chefs now to sort of get themselves out there. But you know, for me, it's all about, you know, service and cooking. So,
is this restaurant been in Birmingham? Is that important?
This restaurant,
yeah,
definitely, yeah. Birmingham's, you know, it's come of age. It's, you know, it couldn't have happened probably 20 years ago. So I think our timing was right. The ball ring had, you know, the ball ring was going through that change, and I think if we'd have been stupid to open before that, but yeah, it's a great addition to the dining scene for Birmingham. Yeah, definitely, as all the restaurants are, and they're all very different as well, which is what I quite like about it. You know what I mean? That you know, I know we talk about Michelin, but there's so many other great restaurants in this city of every level to go to. So it's
well, that's the beauty of it, isn't it? That's
exactly.
That's what makes Birmingham stand out.
Yeah, we can shout about it now. You know, before, you know, it was everyone just to go on about the Balti Triangle, and now, you know, you've got Edgbaston Dining Club, you've got, you know, some great, like I say, you know, great friends with Paul at Meat Shack, and you know, there's some great places to go and eat. You know what I mean? You got Akhtar, who's opening everywhere, and so it's an exciting time for a city in that respect. Yeah, just hope it continues, really.
Yeah, I'm sure it just seems to be places opening all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Seems to, even for us, and we try and eat out as much as we can. I still haven't eaten at half the places I want to eat at yet. It seems impossible to get around to them all.
Well, it's like that. You know, I must admit, I sort of, you know, I don't eat at, we don't, again, like Adam, we don't eat at each other's restaurants that much either, really, I suppose.
No, I suppose with the timing, it's
exactly,
it's an awkward sort of time to eat.
Yeah. For, you know, as I say, it's great that we're all here. We're all friends. There's no, you know, we're all sort of beating the same drum for the city, and spreading the love. Yeah.
Just sort of outside of Birmingham, where would you say, don't say London, but where, like in the world, would you say your favourite culinary place to go?
Long Clume, I would always make a detour for.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go there.
Yeah, it's truly, it's amazing. Yeah,
really,
yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, I guess there's quite a few places up there. We went to Raby Hunt last year. That was very, very good. But culinary destinations, I suppose, they're a bit sporadic, I suppose. But I don't know, really.
No. Great.
There was something else I wanted to ask. Yeah. Obviously, you've had a few appearances on. What was it? A couple of appearances. Anyway, you've been on Saturday Kitchen.
Yeah.
Only
one, unfortunately.
Was it once?
Yeah.
I'd seen it the once. I couldn't find another time. But did you enjoy that? And is there any more plans for TV? Or?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. Yeah, it's a shame because, you know, I think I'd like to do more TV, and I think, you know, I don't think it was a disaster by any means, but I think it went well. But maybe I'm the sort of, the wrong. What should I say? You know, I mean, I'm, you know, got a big beard and some tattoos, or you know, what I mean. It, you know, they're looking for something different, I suppose. There's a lot of, you know, it's the younger thing they're looking for, I guess, now. A bit too old in the tooth, I suppose. Bit of the granddad of the...
Maybe, I think there's the introverts and extroverts, isn't there? And
looking for the maybe I haven't got enough to say, I don't know. But,
I think you're plenty to say, in my opinion, I think, like, you give off the impression that you'd probably be far happier teaching chefs in the kitchen than singing your praises on telly.
Yeah, no, you know, if the opportunities come along, I do grab it with both hands. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But you know, we've got no we've got no publicists or anything like that backing us to get us on TV. But sometimes we get an email through. Would you like to try for this? So we try. We've tried for GBM a couple of times, but been unsuccessful for whatever reason. Who knows? I don't know.
I think there's a bit of politics in TV sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, MasterChef's been good. You've obviously had Leo.
Yeah, of course. Leo did a great job.
That raises the profile of the restaurant as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Leo was good. We also had Claire was with us. When,
of course, yeah.
So we produce good things out of Simpsons. Well, great things, not good things. And telly's always been a thing. Which is obviously great for publicising the restaurant and personally, and we would like more of it. And it's a shame about Saturday Kitchen because it was good Saturday Kitchen, but there's so many chefs obviously trying to get on it, but it always seems to be the same few that do get on it, which is sort of Have
you got anything personally you want to coming up, like anything new happening?
No, not really. No, just sort of looking forward to the summer coming, and
everyone is, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, this is Carl's favourite part of the podcast. We've started ending all podcasts now with just a quick fire questions, just general questions. We call it Carl questions everything. So I'll pass you on to Carl.
Yeah, really easy. It's basically just questions of shit I want to know about people that I find interesting, just personally. So, what's your favourite movie?
Quadrophenia.
Good choice. What's your favourite band?
The Jam. The theme going on
here. Yeah, there's definitely some vibe.
I was a kid of the 80s.
Is your favourite holiday destination the Isle of Wight?
No.
What's your favourite spirit? And I mean specifically, like, to the bottle.
Well, if you knew me, I'm not really a big drinker, but gin, but I couldn't give you a gin.
No, you're not too bad.
No.
What's your favourite big fast food chain?
McDonald's.
Nice. If you're getting takeaway, what is it? Indian, Chinese, pizza?
It's funny because it's supposed to be a quick fire question round, but
no, tea time. It's fine.
I was talking to my wife. We've never had a pizza delivery ever.
Ever?
Yeah, is that strange? I don't know, but we've never.
That is strange. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
We've never had a pizza delivery, but so it wouldn't be. What was the question? Chinese. Yeah. Only because really, I guess it's a family thing. We just have Chinese.
If you weren't doing this, what do you think you'd be doing?
Probably still sleeping on my mate's couch.
What's sort of go-to dish when you're at home?
Probably like some marinated chicken with salad and some nice bread and stuff like that. Quite simple. Bit of fresh coleslaw. Just
If you're going for a quick bite in Birmingham, say quick lunch or something, where are you heading to?
One of two, depending. Definitely Pure Bar and Kitchen.
Yeah.
And if I wanted a couple of beers, or Meat Shack. 100%.
Yeah, good choices. I suppose that's answered my next question. What's your favourite bar or pub in Birmingham?
Pure Bar.
Pure Bar,
yeah.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah. Not for the connection with Andreas, but I just think it's the beer's brilliant. I just like the vibe in there, it's nice.
Brilliant. That's my questions.
Yeah, that's us all done.
Good.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we finish up? Or
no, not really. I think I enjoyed it.
We covered everything.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for you to give us your time to do this.
It's an absolute pleasure.
A lot. And thanks for inviting us into this beautiful restaurant.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for coming. And
it's been awesome.
It's been good talking to you guys.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Chef.
you.
Cheers.
Thank you.